Remember how Muhammad married Aisha when she was 6 years old? Well, let me tell you a little secret. It's not true. I got a really interesting email this morning about this, so I thought I'd address it because it's not only Islamophobic, it's also been used in political systems to justify the lowering of the legal age of marriage. But let me tell you something about Islam. Unless it's in the Quran, then it doesn't escape infallibility. The Quran alone is the infallible word of God. And in the Quran, marriage is only legitimate when it is entered by two consenting adults. And more importantly, it's the woman who gets to choose her spouse. Now, in a time like the 5th and 6th century in the Saudi Arabian desert, there was no such thing as a birth registry or celebrating a birthday, so people just basically estimated their own age. A person was considered an adult once they passed through puberty. And by the way, 500 years after Muhammad, that was still true in Europe, which is why it was okay for the 35-year-old King John of England to marry an 11-year-old Isabella of Angoulême. But here's the thing. This image of a corrupt, sinful, philanderous Muhammad fits perfectly inside a broader Islamophobic Orientalism. It's giving crusades. The Catholic Church did everything in its power to paint this image of a sinful, lustful, false prophet. They had done all the work to create this immaculate image of a perfect Messiah, Jesus Christ, Son of God. The guy was born of a virgin, for God's sake. So by extension, the religion of this sinful philanderer, Islam, stood no chance against the religion of the archetype of celibacy. So ultimately, we get these ideas from threatened Christian patriarchs. But let me tell you some more interesting stuff about Muhammad that we actually know. Because it's really funny how we always rush to talk about how he married a 6-year-old, but we never talk about his first wife, the one we actually know was his wife, and who, very interestingly, was the first Muslim. Her name was Khadija, and she was a business owner when Muhammad still had nothing in his own name. She had heard of his journey into the cave. He had come to her seeking solace after the vision. She was 15 years his senior. He was 25, she was 40, and she proposed to him. She actually sent her friend to ask him if he would be okay being with a woman who had her own money. It was a whole thing. It's super cute. Go read about it. But let's circle back to Aisha, because when Khadija passed away, Muhammad was heartbroken. But he was friends with a man named Abu Bakr, who had a daughter that was coming of age. And because marriage in those days typically served political and social functions, Muhammad was wed to Aisha to solidify his relationship with Abu Bakr. And guess what? Aisha was no wallflower. She led troops in battle and was known for her temper and her mischievous sense of humor. She was a stateswoman, scholar, mufti, and judge. And this whole Islamophobic narrative that paints her as some kind of victim is honestly just an insult to one of the most powerful women in Islam.